Ah, a letter from Porsche. It must be an invite to the unveiling of their next GT car. Quite excited about this. Oh no, it is in fact another recall. But here's why I think this one could be a good thing, and Porsche doing the right thing for us owners of these cars. But before we get there, I wanted to discuss a recent video that I uploaded. It did seem to cause quite a stir in terms of the title, people perhaps suggesting that it was indeed a little bit sensationalist. And believe me, compared to some of the titles and thumbnails I've seen out there on YouTube, I felt it to be pretty tame. But I don't think there's ever been any videos that I've done where I've said the Taycan is a bad car. Absolutely not. I have to clear this up. I love the car. It is a brilliant car to drive. It is comfortable. It is quick. It is quiet. It is sublime on the roads. And honestly, I do not think there is much better out there for road trips around the UK and our bumpy roads than this car. It is simply fantastic. And I cannot stress that enough. So please do not be misconstrued about the car at all. It's not just me that thinks that about this car as well. Plenty of other folk who own them, plenty of journalists really do rate these cars highly, but the journalists that rate these cars have them for perhaps a day or a week, and then that's it. They don't live with these cars, right? And I don't know of any journalists that actually do own one of these cars. I think most of them would rather die than own an EV. So we're the guys that live with these cars, right? So I'm practically married to this thing for 3 years now, in sickness and in health, right? So I have to report on everything that happens. I have to be fair, I have to be transparent in my ownership experience of this car. And, you know, this isn't Hollywood, right? This is YouTube. This isn't something that you gloss over and say it's amazing even when it's not. You have to talk about the less positive elements of owning this car as well. And there haven't been that many for me at all. It has on the whole been very good, but unfortunately Taycans do seem to be suffering from some battery woes, right? And that is exactly what this letter is about. It is a battery recall. And what I don't want to do is provide you with a channel, you know, that paints a picture of these cars being 100% amazing. You rush out and get one and then you have issues, right? I have to keep it real. So I do recommend them, but you have to really appreciate the potential risks of owning one of these cars as well. And look, the values of the Gen 1 used Taycans in the market right now speaks volumes, right? You don't need me to tell you that. Current market values, not very good, regardless of how you look at them. So what is this recall all about, and why is it potentially a good thing? Let me just grab a sip of this lovely coffee before it gets cold. But as I do that, let me keep talking to you about what this recall is. So, it says Porsche AG continuously monitors its vehicles on the market. As part of this product monitoring, cases have come to light in which a short circuit within the high voltage battery has occurred in vehicles of the Taycan type, subsequently causing it to catch fire. Not good. This situation can also increase the risk of injury or material damage if it occurs. So, yeah, not an ideal situation, but I'm not worried about it, right? I don't worry about my cars. I enjoy them. If I worried about my cars, I wouldn't own an SL55 and a Renault 5 GT Turbo as well, because they're not regarded as being the most reliable. But I'm not going to worry about it. But here's why I think it's a good thing from Porsche UK, and why I think they're stepping up here and being a bit more proactive. So what they're saying they're going to do is install new software on the car starting calendar year 2025. This is good because apparently, and there's not much detail on this letter, but what it states here is that it will be able to provide you with better information on the dash about what's happening with the batteries themselves. Perhaps maybe a bit more specificity about modules that aren't quite right or modules that are undervolting, etc. So right now, I think if anything goes slightly wrong with the car, it just says, park me up, I'm not working anymore, and that's kind of it. So could the new software allow you to continue a little bit more potentially? I'm not sure. It all remains to be seen. And as I say, there's not much data in this recall about that. What they're going to do as well is start monitoring the car remotely. And this is good. I've spoken about this on previous videos. these cars are connected, right? So why on earth can't they be proactively monitored for faults? I know Tesla do a pretty good job of that. These cars don't seem to do that, but this seems to be like a step in the right direction, right? And they say for this, the prerequisite for this is that the online transmission of fault analysis logs is activated, the vehicle is not in privacy mode, and it must be connected to the internet at least every 30 days over a continuous period of 45 minutes to receive that data or to send that data back into Porsche HQ for analysis. And from what I can understand, this is until that new software is installed on the cars in 2025. So they're doing this, as of it sounds like, now. If you don't want to do this, if you don't want to have your vehicle remotely monitored, you want it in privacy mode, you're a bit concerned about data, etc., or maybe finding out about what you're up to, then you need to have your Taycan dropped off at the Porsche Center for 3 hours per review on a regular basis. It doesn't say what that regular basis is, but that sounds like a right pain in the backside. So I think most people are just going to opt for, yep, feel free, please, monitor my car remotely, as am I as well. Absolutely no issue with that at all. And it'd be interesting to see if anything does indeed come up from that. So here is the current situation that we're in with this, right? And this recall number is WRS0. There is also an ARB6, which is a little bit more strict, I think, with the terms. I've got the WRS0. Those who've got the ARB6 recall are being told not to charge their battery above 80% and not to park it in a garage, adjacent to buildings, anything like that. Keep it away from buildings just in case the worst happens. But I have to be honest, I've never heard of one of these catching fire. I've never heard any mention of it on any of the forums. So I think the chance is so remote. You absolutely shouldn't be worrying about it. You know, just kind of maybe do keep it to about 80% if you can, if you've got an ARB6, just in case. But I wouldn't stress about it too much. And look, the situation with forums as well is, right, a lot of people go on there to moan and gripe and say what's bad about their cars. It's very rare people go on to say how good they are. Unfortunately, it's just the way people are, right? So, you know, maybe what you sense in a forum is slightly skewed as well. But indeed, I wouldn't let this worry you too much. And it's good to see Porsche being proactive about trying to get this matter resolved. So what exactly is up here? Well, we don't know what the issue is, but we know that Taycans do seem to throw quite a few battery modules out. They break, they don't work as expected. And then, of course, the car itself doesn't work. And we know there was issues as well with some of the sealant that was used for these battery packs, right? And water ingress was happening. I think it was Torozen was the maker of this specific sealant. But yeah, not an ideal situation for batteries here, but good to see Porsche being proactive and fingers crossed replacing modules that are faulty or might go faulty in advance of it actually happening. And this is a step in the right direction. Now, in terms of recalls, this is a 2022 Taycan, and it is now subject to 9 official recalls. If your Taycan is 2020, you'd have had 11 recalls by now. So it's not an insignificant number of recalls. We had the brake hose recall happen recently with this car, and I believe every Taycan, every Gen 1 Taycan is affected. Now, in terms of the numbers for this, it seems to be in the low to mid hundreds of vehicles that are affected. So not every single vehicle is being called out for an ARB6 or a WSR0, as far as I'm aware. And that is according to those DVLA numbers. But it looks like a lot of folk have indeed received these letters. So I'm not sure if Porsche are just saying, hey, you know what? Let's just get these out to everyone. Let's get this software on everyone's Taycans so we can be proactive. We can get ahead of the game here and understand exactly just what's going on, which has to be a good thing, right? Versus just fingers crossed until the car one day decides it's had enough and that's it. It doesn't work, as did happen to me. But look, I have to say, I really do appreciate the subs I've got on the channel. I don't want to be sensationalist in any way. I don't think they are, you know. I'm just being frank. I'm just being transparent with what's happening with my car and what could be happening with other Taycans out there, right? They're brilliant cars, but they're not perfect. And in this channel, I have to give you the pros and the cons, the real life experience of living with these cars. But if you do follow the channel and you've seen other videos, you'll find lots of very, very positive experiences out of this car, including getting it round Silverstone as well, right? So it isn't all bad. These are brilliant cars, and I do stand by that. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Do stay safe, stay well, see you on the next one, and bye for now.